Welcome to the Not Nerd Show. I'm Nate Heath, and we look through hundreds of articles this week to bring you the best tech. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, Nathan.
Hello.
Yes, I even went and loaded up my old Feedly account. Do you remember Feedly?
That is what I use.
That's what you use?
Every single week to go through multiple news. Yeah, previous pick of the week, Feedly.
Feedly. Well, I'm excited to talk about that background of yours, and I might have a little background here as well. And then I'm excited to talk about your hat. We've got new hardware. We've got a particular day that's happening right now that we're going to talk about. Of course, I've got a tip of the week, a pro tip of the week, mind you. There's the bell.
Yeah.
That's going to save the planet potentially. So I know we got all kinds of stuff going on.
Hero.
I know. And then my pick of the week is not any slouch either. Did you get something picked out for the pick of the week?
Yes. Mine is a fun one as well. So yeah, do not go anywhere before we go anywhere else. I do have a hat on.
I see that.
I don't know. Well, Dave, I do know you probably watched every moment this past weekend, but it was WrestleMania. So I busted out my WWF.
The World Wildlife Foundation.
Yes. This is one I got from some Instagram ad, Hat Zone.
Oh, so it's a newer one that's made to look like an old style?
They do a bunch of retro stuff, and I got some different ones from there. I'm trying to think, did I wear my Voltron one?
I think you have before.
Yeah, I think that was from the same company. I've got a couple others, maybe some that haven't made an appearance yet. So.
And your background is very reminiscent of Windows XP.
Yes.
It's very nice.
Yes,
I love it.
To celebrate our Earth, I figured I went and found somebody animated the clouds behind the Windows XP hill, and of course I had to throw Drone Dave on the hill there.
Sure you did. Where is everyone? Oh, there's Hey Grandma. Yes. And here I thought Nate was a wrestler.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean... Oh, Siri found some web results for some reason. And nobody asked her. What a creep.
Yes, Hey Grandma, I as a child I was a big fan of the wrestling, and with the mustache, they might come calling. They do a lot of I will fully admit I don't currently watch any professional wrestling, but you do see clips and stuff online, and like some of the comedians I follow, they'll come in and do a bit on the shows. It still is massive.
Yeah.
They have a massive following.
People love it. Didn't John Cena, isn't he still doing some wrestling stuff?
They always come back. The $1 Million Man was back for something. He's like 200 years old now, but you never get out of professional wrestling,
once
especially once that money comes calling.
It's like the mafia.
In my former life, yes.
Oh, well, that was fun. Well, thanks for joining us on this Earth Day special.
Talked about my hat. We're gonna do hats only from here on, hats and backgrounds only from here on out. That's all we need. And yes, Dave's got the Earth.
Yeah.
Rotating behind him. He is not on Blue Origin.
The planet Earth. Maybe I am. You don't know. Look at these graphics.
That's what we'll do for our 1,000th episode. We're coming up on 500, but 1,000th episode, we will do it live from space.
Nerds in space.
Nerds in space. Well, a couple of things before we do get to our main topic. The first one, maybe Wes is interested, probably not too many people, but it was released today, and Dave has a previous version. It's the Insta360 X5. Now, this is their actual 360 camera. You have what, 35 different cameras from Insta360?
I think so. But I do have their X3, which is their third generation 360 camera. And then the fourth generation came out, and I skipped it because I don't use the other one. And then this one came out, and so I really am not going to get it because I still haven't made using the camera part of my
Yeah,
lifestyle.
it is a great thing, and I watched a couple videos on it today because you can literally record 360 degrees all of the way around you, and then you can edit it afterwards, and they've got a bunch of tools for doing fun little effects. But you can, if you're we were talking earlier in the day, and I said if I did anything exciting enough, Dave said, "Well, you eat a lot of food," and I don't know that I need a 360-degree view for eating food, but
Well,
they are very, very cool devices.
imagine this, especially the X5, because one of the big innovations is that it has a better low light performance.
Yes.
So imagine in the middle of your table, like we've done before with producer Todd, we stick the camera in the middle, and instead of just taking a photo, you take
Yes.
a video. Then in the editor, your buddy Tom and Jake and Larry and whoever's eating, I just made those names up, who's
Wow.
eating with you, you can just cut to that angle because all
Yeah.
angles are recorded. You don't have.
That would have been good. This last week was Portland Pizza Week, and I went out with some guys from the marathon once again. We've done Wiener Week and Sandwich Week, and now it was Pizza Week. And so we do sit around a table, but then I just take the camera and interview everybody and get their thoughts. But it would
Which
be,
works fine.
yes, it works fine. But if you really want to do some cool edits, actually, a guy that I met down in San Diego at the conference, he got one of these early. He's got a couple million subscribers on YouTube. Rented a Mustang, went in the hills of California he's from the UK. While he was in the States for the conference, he's like, I'm going to rent a Mustang. I'm going to go up in the hills and drive through. And he did a really cool video just showing some of the different things you can do with it. It was pretty impressive, but
One of my life goals is to get pre-release hardware from some of these
yeah.
companies and test it out and make videos. But it's kind of a chicken and egg. You have to make videos first
Yes.
before they'll trust you with their hardware. This is
Yeah.
like, trust me, just send me your stuff. I
Yeah.
probably will
Do a
make it.
video at some
I'll
point.
do it. Don't worry. What's the
Yeah.
worst that could happen? I don't send it
Yeah.
back and you lose your stuff. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that is the worst thing that can happen.
And producer Todd's in the chat. Wow, what great normal looking footage from your 360-degree cam, says no one.
Oh, when they're sitting now, surprisingly, I have created a video similar, but I took the 360 pole and camera and put it like above where the person in the car with the orange hat,
Yeah.
and then we're driving around and stuff, and you can look down on top of your car, like there's a drone flying above your car, and then you can look behind you and left and right. And so I have that footage, and I mean it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not abnormal, I guess.
No. If you do want to get into this, the new Insta360 X5 does start at $549.99. They've got some different package deals with accessories. Oh, and I did want to bring up, I mentioned it to Dave earlier, in their marketing materials, why choose X5? And it's got a 8K 30 frame per second 360
Yeah.
degree video with dual 1/1.28-inch sensors. The second one, it has a triple AI chip for superior low light.
Whatever that
That
means.
means nothing to a triple AI chip.
A triple AI chip, Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
Everybody
Oh
knows what
yeah.
that is.
Everybody's doing
It's
the
better
triple
than a
AI.
single or a double. It's a triple.
Well, yeah. But that one, it's just like that makes no sense. But yeah, they do. Insta360's got some really good stuff, and we were talking about if we ever made videos. We've got one in the works, not for this product, but for something else from Insta360 that we actually have a script. We have a loose timeline of when we're going to film this video because we have a deadline. And then once it gets published, that will be maybe by the end of the year.
Yeah. Publishing seems to be. Here's what we need somebody. Oh, maybe this could be you, dear listener. We need somebody who can take all the wonderful footage that we create, digest it, edit it, do whatever, and then post it to social media. We need someone to do that for the low price of free.
Wes would love to, and he actually has more videos, I think, than we do on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
He's done a couple with us, but yeah,
Embarrassing.
I'm doing a lot more video editing now. It's just we've got to make the time and get on a schedule. So keep checking in with us and asking us where some product videos are, because
Well, we could pay Wes double what we make to do that.
oh yeah,
There you
so
go,
he would
Wes.
be paying us. I think the math
I
still works out.
I think it comes out to zero because we
Yes,
pay, and double that would be getting our money back. And so, yeah,
perfect.
there you go.
Speaking of video editing, it might be easier for some people. Today, this was announced back in January, right around the TikTok and CapCut ban. Instagram announced that they were coming out with an Edits app to be able to do video editing on your phone.
Mm.
Um, and it was finally released today. I had like pre-signed up for it, so it just showed up on my phone. I did go in and play with it a little bit. If you've ever done like created a story on Instagram and it's got you can add stickers or text or some captions. It's very similar to that with a couple other editing features. But if you are wanting to do simple, free video editing while giving Meta more of your information, the Instagram Edits app is free. It
So this is a CapCut competitor. Is that what this is?
Yes,
Or an
and after
iMovie
looking at
competitor?
it for a few minutes, I realized it is not a CapCut competitor for me, but for the average person that just needs to quickly, do some minor editing and maybe add captions in. But again, I do most of my editing on my desktop. This isn't available on desktop, but for phone editing and quick phone editing, Instagram Edits app is worth a look and worth a try, especially if you're in the Meta, use Facebook and Instagram, because then you can, post it right from there and add music
And
and
here's the dumb thing. I was going to ask you, but I looked on the App Store. Only on iPhone, not iPad.
not iPad.
What?
Maybe when they do finally do that Instagram iPad app, they'll
What?
add
It makes no sense.
a no, no.
Come on.
It's Meta. It's Meta. It doesn't make sense.
Meta
But
makes no sense. That should be their slogan.
yes, yes. Well, let us move on to our main topic. I was trying to think of something. I was like, there's no major stories. Um, I almost thought about there's like 12, like a baker's dozen legal cases going on with all the big tech companies right now in the US. Facebook's been, or Zuckerberg's been testifying and they're trying to split Google up. But I really just don't like talking about that legal stuff.
That's
It's
not
not
why we
great.
got into this very lucrative business. If we
Yes.
wanted to talk about legal stuff, we would have become lawyers because we're
Yeah.
both absolutely capable of doing that.
Yes. Yes. But no, I figured we'd talk about Earth Day. Today is Earth
Oh,
Day, April 22nd, and I had a couple stories pop up, but I did put a link in the show notes to the earthday.org website, which just has some different. You can take a pledge. It seemed to be very focused where I was clicking around plastics, trying to not use so many plastics.
hmm.
But the theme this year is your power, your earth. I think that's what I put on the show art. They have a theme every year. Oh, our
Our
power,
power,
our
our
planet,
planet. Yes.
calling for everyone to unite around renewable energy so we can triple clean electricity by 2030. So get out there and hook a bicycle to a generator and start making some clean energy.
There you go. I mean, the human body does produce carbon dioxide in respiration. So, I mean, cleaner energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes, and then I also found Apple put out I'm guessing a press release, but I found an article from Mac Rumors. Apple's celebrating Earth Day in these 5 ways. Apple updated its homepage to highlight its ongoing 2030 initiative to become carbon neutral across its entire business, supply chain, and product life cycle. Second, Apple recently launched an Earth Day promotion that offers customers 10% off eligible Apple accessories when they recycle eligible devices at participating Apple stores. No stipulations on that
That's a
one.
very thin slice.
Yes, yes. They have the annual Earth Day activity challenge. Apple Watch users who complete any workout for 30 minutes or longer
Oh,
today will receive a 2025 Earth Day award in the activity app.
I got to get that done.
Yes, we should be doing a walking episode today out in nature for Earth Day.
I suppose we could. We could do a pre-recorded one, and then
Yes,
just the whole
yes,
episode is us walking around outside. That'd be kind of fun.
yes. And we might be talking about this more later. Apple plans to enable clean energy charging on iPhone and iPad demo units in US stores. And finally, Apple is celebrating Earth Day with content across some other apps and services. For example, Apple Fitness Plus subscribers can listen to a new Time to Walk episode featuring actress and climate advocate Shailene Woodley.
All right, so we're gonna do this since I do not know who that person is, but a wise person told me don't Google things live
Live
on the
on
air.
camera.
Okay, so it's this person right here. What have I seen her on?
Oh yeah, I think Divergent,
Oh, she's in those. Yep,
Divergent,
those teen
Allegiant,
post-apocalyptic books. She was
uh, The
the
Fault in
person.
Our Stars, Big Little Lies, To
I
Catch a
don't think I've
Killer,
seen her in anything else. Okay,
Killer Heat,
those are all sounds
Spectacular
like
Now.
summer blockbusters to me.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Oh, Three Women. That's the one you were thinking
Oh,
of.
of course, of
Uh,
course.
no, I mean, well, you watch that one, but when you watch that one, you also have to always watch. I know this about you, Dave. The Last Letter from Your Lover. I know that's one of Dave's favorites.
Yeah,
Uh,
because we all write so many letters these days.
yes, if you ever come across that one on VHS, producer Todd,
Yeah.
Dave would like a copy of The Last Letter from Your Lover. Oh, very nice. Well, so we've got all this Earth Day stuff, and there's a nice little contradiction this last week. Sam Altman, who's
Mm-hmm.
the CEO of OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT, and he said, Sam Altman admits that saying please and thank you to ChatGPT is wasting millions with an M of dollars in computer power.
But
Uh,
doesn't he go on to say it's good to do so?
He said, well, you never know if you should or you shouldn't, kind of in jest about AI taking over. Well, halfway in jest. We try to keep positive about the possibility of that happening, but
My
um,
wife gets very upset at me because I'm being a jerk, but if Siri does not do what I want her to do, I lay into her, I insult her, I do whatever, and she's like, "That's not very nice." I'm like, "It's a machine. It doesn't
machine.
know. It doesn't care.
Yeah.
One day it might, and I
Yes.
might pay for it later, but for now,
Now you'll just go with it. Yeah. And
don't
he
give it
said
dignity."
tens of millions of dollars well spent. You never know, he added, if you should say it. But I will admit this, just with ChatGPT and using all the AI stuff, I have, at first I was just using it, but with all the stories that we've talked about, just the immense power usage,
Yeah.
I do keep that in mind, as I'm like, oh, do I need to create another version of this show thumbnail that,
Or do I need to ask another question that
yeah,
I could?
yeah, because so I kind of keep it in my brain that yes, there is some computer somewhere getting warmer and using more electricity because I'm trying to get the right mustache on my show art. So it's just something to be aware of that all this stuff. So it does say in the article, one Washington Post investigation done in collaboration with researchers at the University of California studied the impacts of generating a 100-word email. They found that just one email requires 0.14 kilowatt hours of electricity, or enough to power 14 LED lights for an hour. If you were to send one AI email a week over the course of a year, you'd use an eye-watering 7.5 kilowatt hours, roughly equal to an hour's worth of electricity consumed by 9 households in Washington, D.C.
Wow. So what's the solution? Solar? I mean,
Yeah, well, then nuclear, I know a lot of these AI server farms, because not only is it using a lot of electricity, these companies are having to pay for that
yeah.
electricity.
Man, now's
Um,
the time to own an electric company.
yeah, that's what we should have
Dang it,
started
why
this
didn't we
summer.
do that last month?
Oh,
Think
man.
where we
But
would have been.
yes, it's one little thing you can kind of keep in mind. But then I was thinking about it. It's like, well, how much power is used for us to do a live video on YouTube, then YouTube servers? I mean, all this stuff just adds up.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
regarding the cursing at Siri and Alexa and the like, the real Dr. RAPVHS says, LOL, just like the other day when I spent 5 minutes shouting and cursing at an Xfinity automated customer service line that refused to connect me to a human.
yes.
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 There used to
Man.
be a website where they would tell you all the buttons to push to get to a
Oh,
human.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
can't
wonder if
remember
that's
what
still
that is.
there.
Ask ChatGPT where that's at.
Yes, yes. Create me a diagram. And he also says, don't even ask how much electricity my lava lamp collection takes.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can't really do that with
point.
LED lights because they need the heat to
Yes.
work. So,
Yes, indeed. But yeah, just one little aspect of, as all these tech companies try to be be great on Earth Day, that there's a lot of electricity being used, but we could all just do a little bit better
a
each
little bit
day.
better.
If all 8 billion of us did a little bit better each day, what difference would we make?
It's the beginning of summertime here, or it's the end of spring, I guess, in the northern hemisphere. So go outside and read your book instead of sitting on a couch. Something
Yeah,
like that. The
yeah.
sun is free.
Do your live show from outside instead of having 3 lights around you in your studio.
We could do that.
Mine are LED, so they're very low
Mine are
consumption.
also LED, so
Yes,
saving the
yeah.
planet one light at a time.
Well, you know what else we're doing one light at a time?
What's that?
Dave's pro tip of the week.
One light at a time. This little light of mine. Yes. So, on the theme of Earth Day, let's see if I
Yeah.
can get my my rectangle that probably took 70,000 kilowatt hours to produce in
Yeah.
China by the energy produced by the Yangtze River, which flooded thousands of homes in order to make a giant dam. But, besides that, we're doing pretty good. All right, so this tip is Earth Day tip, clean energy charging. So the article said that in the Apple stores, they're going to turn their charging for their devices that are sitting there on display to use clean energy when they're charging. Well, you, my friends, can do the same thing at home on your iPhone and various other Apple devices. I did not take the time to do the research to see exactly what models were affected, but I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and so I'm assuming 15, 16. Are we up to 17 yet? That's next year.
Not yet.
You can do this. So you want to go to settings, and then you want to go to battery. And when you're in battery, you want to go down to charging. Yes, I know this is a long walk. Now we're finally in charging. And there at the bottom, boom, you can toggle on or off clean energy charging. And it says, in your region, iPhone will try to reduce your carbon footprint by selectively charging when lower carbon emission electricity, easy for you to say, is available. iPhone learns from your daily charging routine so it can reach full charge before you need it, which your mileage may vary on that. I've been burned by that before. But yeah, there you go. You just go into the settings, battery charging, and you can turn it off. Now, it doesn't really affect me, so I guess I'm going to leave it on. There you go.
Yeah, you know what?
I just saved
I'm
the
gonna do
world.
my little part. I'm gonna turn mine on too. I didn't have it on, but
Well, so
you know what?
here's
How
one.
often do I need to charge? I'm not often out of electricity, so
One
might make
reason
a
you
little
may
difference.
not want to do it is oftentimes clean energy does cost more than dirty electricity. So if you're concerned about the difference of maybe $1 a year, you may want to keep it off. I don't know what the numbers are, but it's got to be very small for just charging one device.
Yes.
But yeah, that would be the reason. But I'm all for clean energy. I'm all on board. You know, we've got my electric car out there.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, what I love about electricity is that it can be created a variety of ways. And it can even be created in ways that we haven't even thought of yet.
Hmm.
So that's what I love about it.
Yes. No, I like that. Good little tip. I'm guessing most people weren't aware of that.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to do. Educate you. And that brings us, speaking of education, to everyone's favorite segment, Just the Headlines.
Oh, and look at this. We've got a little action out on the driveway cam.
Speaking of Earth, there it is.
There's Earth, and we got a couple big pickups out there that just use a very small fraction of fuel to operate.
Yes.
And it costs nothing to park squarely on a curved wheelchair accessible sidewalk area. And good thing for low resolution, we can't really tell who this person is.
Yes, I don't think we'd be able to identify them.
Yeah, so non-identifiable.
Whew.
So there you go. That's the neighborhood. It's a nice, bright, sunny day.
Yes.
Not so true for you guys down in the southern hemisphere, which are entering into your cold season, Elliot. So maybe fire off an update for us here in the States. When you hear the show, send us a text and we'll report back to
Yes.
the wide audience of 3 people to let them know what the weather is like in the southern hemisphere at this time of year.
That would be delightful. And hey, Grandma does admit it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood,
It
which
is.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also agree it's time for Just the Headlines.
Daddy of a Mistake by GoDaddy took Zoom offline for about 90 minutes.
The FBI can't find missing records of its hacking tools.
Google used AI to suspend over 39 million ad accounts suspected of fraud.
Hurts. This hurts, says customers' personal data and driver's licenses stolen in data breach.
And hackers spied on 100 U.S. bank regulators' emails for over a year.
The James Webb Space Telescope reveals that most galaxies rotate clockwise.
And finally, scientists recreate brain circuit in lab for the first time.
Those are just the headlines.
Now, something we got to talk about is this whole James Webb Space Telescope reveals that most galaxies rotate clockwise.
Yes.
I think I know the answer, but let me get a prop. Got to find a good one.
Don't have any globes. Don't have the Earth on your desk.
So here's an Apple Watch, right? So if I'm turning this Apple Watch clockwise, from my perspective, it's counterclockwise from your perspective. And as I keep spinning it and I turn it, it's now counterclockwise for my perspective and clockwise for your perspective. So how do they know which is up and what is down? I don't know.
Yes. That's a good point. That all the universe is on a flat plane.
Well, I
think the Earth is flat, so it would make sense that the whole universe is
everything
a
is
flat plane.
out from the flat plane of the Earth. I think the solution or the answer to this is that they've noticed that the universe, which should be homogeneous from the Big Bang should be the same everywhere is got a twist to it. And they see one, the whole universe kind of spinning, but all the little things spinning as well within the universe, which is crazy because then you condense things down to atoms and subatomic particles, which all have a spin correlated with them. And so I'm wondering, we're getting big brained here. I wonder if when matter appears, it's got a pairing antimatter with it, and they immediately collide and annihilate each other. Maybe just with billions of these things happening, like one of them got in the way of the other one or something, and that's what created the whole universe. Think about that.
Wow. My brain hurts. I need that brain circuit that was created in the lab after that
You
one.
do. I did not read that article, but that sounds intriguing. Maybe
Yes.
I could get a replacement.
Yes. Well, let's move on to our takes of the week. I don't think we mentioned the Meta's second screen technology. Maybe it was in just the headlines. But Meta has created this app that,
The picture.
oh, yes, it's that Megan movie.
Yeah.
It's not the most appealing one there, but so Meta's created this app with the idea that we tried this with TV for a long time, that while you're at a movie theater watching a movie,
Yeah.
you would use this app for a second screen experience
Oh,
where you'd get
yes.
more information or
Boo.
bonus
Or play
stuff.
along with,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you can find the hidden item or something.
Yes, yes. So the story I linked to is the Alamo Drafthouse, which is in Texas, I believe, near the Alamo, possibly. But they have opted out of this Meta second screen experience, and they're doing it just now for its M3GAN, the Megan re-release.
Megan, yeah. I saw
but,
Megan 1. They're on 3? I don't think I saw
well,
Megan
it's
2.
the 3 in the name. Is that how it always was? I
Yeah,
think
that's true. It was. I think it was always like that. This might just be the second movie of the
Yes, I did
franchise.
not see it, but it is a re-release, so it might just be the first one. But
Oh.
yeah, so they're like, no, we're not doing this, and I just this is not the solution. Theaters,
No.
it
It
is
just
not.
ticks off people like me who are going there to watch the movie.
Yeah,
But at least it's contained in its own little theater. And I think this is a little too soon, but I think we're going to see other movies capitalizing on like the Minecraft movie, where there was a meme and people did something. There were some theaters that encouraged it, and they had special screenings just for the
for
chicken
the excited,
jockey.
yeah. Much
So
like the Rocky Horror Picture
yeah,
Show,
like
where
you
it's
knew
like,
what you're getting into.
yes,
So you better believe that movie executives are going to be like, how can we manufacture a viral video?
yes.
And there's going to be a million of these things going on.
But yeah, so it says, per Meta's explanation, Megan re-release viewers can access Movie Mate by direct messaging the film's official Instagram account. That will launch a chatbot that will augment and up-level the second screen viewing experience by feeding users sneak peeks, exclusive recorded messages from directors and talent from the films, and surprise special appearances in select markets, all while the screening unfolds. This just sounds absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so sure I'm on board with it even on any level, because people have gotten out of the habit of attending films, and they're treating theaters like it's their home. They're talking to each other. They're sitting on their devices, doing something else. Like, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but there's another person that lives in my house that does not want to experience any television at all without doing something else on a separate screen. And it's just become a habit. And Netflix, have we talked about this article where Netflix are telling the people who produce shows on their channel that they need to have the actors specify everything that's going on in the scene, because they know that half the audience isn't looking at the TV.
Oh, jeez.
And so it's like, come over here. Why should I come over there? Well, obviously, there's a dead body behind the car of a woman wearing a red shirt. Don't you remember from before? The red shirt person in the video? I mean, stuff like that. It's like, give me a
No.
break.
As someone that spends an inordinate amount of time on my phone, especially when I go to the movie theater, it is one of the movie theater and church are one of the few places where I'm like, no, I'm here for the experience. I do not
Yeah.
need my phone right now for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
If,
Even
yeah.
I can go without going on my phone.
And you're as big a tech guy as anybody.
Yes.
Here's here's my challenge to the world. If you cannot go an hour and a half, 2 hours without looking at your device, then you should not be going to a movie theater.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
one or the other. You can't do both. So there you go. There's my
I would
challenge.
agree. And think of all that electricity you'd save
Oh
by
man,
not using your phone.
stay at home. You're already paying
Yes.
for the electricity there, so
Yes. Well, the next one, Apple says all Mac Minis with Intel are now vintage or obsolete. So,
wow. I got a couple
um,
of those in my hopper.
yeah, yes, I've inherited one not too long ago. I do have an Intel Mac Mini that's a pretty decent one. But yeah, they're saying that they are now vintage, which with Apple making the move from Intel to their own M series chips,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to knock these things off as quickly as possible. Now, producer Todd might be having a little upgrade. Friend of the show Wes might be having a little upgrade soon to M series chips.
What
They're really great.
this whoops. This is obsolete now? This is
The
vintage?
iPhone 6.
6S. What are they
Oh,
talking about?
come
Come on,
on.
guys. I use this every day.
Yes, yes. And it doesn't mean it will no longer work. It just means they want nothing to do with it,
They're not going to
software
update
or
it anymore.
hardware wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, the obsolete means it won't get any more updates. They can't fix it for you. Now, a third party repair shop might be. And hey, Grandma asks, what does Apple mean by obsolete? Well, the article tells me, per Apple's definitions, vintage is defined as Apple stopped distributing them for sale more than 5 and less than 7 years ago. Obsolete is Apple stopped distributing them for sale more than 7 years ago.
Yeah. That's a long
So,
time. 5 and
yes,
7 years. If you're using any technology 5 years plus, good for you.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's actually a lot of equipment that I have here that I'm still using from over that amount of time.
Yes. Yeah, so it says here um, the latter product, the Mac Mini from 2018 was the last release date, is especially significant because the 2018 Mac Mini was the last remaining Intel model that was not yet labeled either vintage or obsolete. So
Hmm.
does that mean all Intel
All
computers
previous
or
one.
just Mac Minis?
Uh, I think maybe all,
No, because
couldn't
Todd
be all.
bought his Intel laptop in 2020, I think,
We've only had the
famously.
M1 chip for under 4 years, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So it must just be for the Mac Minis, which are
Yeah.
great little computers, but they have that new M4 one
It's
that
like this
is,
big.
yeah,
It's so
Screaming Demon.
cute and affordable.
Yes, yes, this is true. So I'm looking here to see if I can find a list here of stuff because
Hmm.
I know the listeners are wondering which products. We're going to read through every vintage and obsolete products.
I thought
Oh,
maybe
no.
we would show people a picture of what the outside looks like.
Yes,
The
yes.
shadows are getting long. It's
Oof.
about 7:10 here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, so basically anything from 2018
Oh,
or before is going to be vintage. Oh, we got kids
I
carrying stuff.
I don't think that's a child, but it is
Oh,
a shorter person carrying mail, I think, or a box.
yeah.
I think it's an adult child.
You've got some little people in your neighborhood I never knew. I need to come over more. Well, our last one Google announces agent-to-agent AI protocol. Now, I heard about a couple of these types of services down in San Diego at the conference. But what this isn't dystopian at all. This is a project to allow different AI services to talk to each other.
Wow. Can't you just put an Alexa and a Siri together and have them talk to each
Yes.
other?
Yes.
I mean,
So
why
they've
wouldn't that
got
work?
an open protocol called Agent to Agent, A2A, with support and contributions from more than 50 technology partners like blah, 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 Intuit. Oh, there you go, Dave. PayPal, Salesforce. I'm going through for ones that people might.
Atlassian.
Deloitte, McKinsey. Will allow AI agents to communicate with each other, securely exchange information, and coordinate actions against humanity. Oh, no,
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah.
say
We
that.
don't want this.
On top of various enterprise platforms or applications. So basically, what this boils down to is if you have used PayPal for your business and you've got a bunch of transactions, it could tie in with your Salesforce and pass data back and forth, and then over to Intuit, Dave's favorite company. For you, I'm going to make you an Intuit hat, Dave.
I'm not going to wear it
for your taxes. So
I want two of them, one to crap on and one to cover it up with.
Yes. But to automate things, because there are so many different AI and just services out there, so much like Zapier or IFTTT, if this then that, IFTT, where you could connect different services together. It's the next level for AI stuff. So yeah, it's a lovely world we live in.
I can see it becoming useful because all of these services have an AI portion, and it just makes sense that if you have a query, you just pass it along to the next thing versus having to reinvent the wheel with the work that you're trying to do with every single application. So it makes sense, but it also will allow them to team up and take us on.
Yes.
Don't want that.
Yeah, so like the guy in San Diego that was doing a presentation on different AI services, he talked about a couple of these where it, like, let's say we record our show, it would go and get the show, it would make art, it would create the transcript, it would do all the steps that I do individually. It would kind of just do it as one workflow, then
We need
publish
that
it to
intern.
the website. Yes.
Maybe we don't need an intern. Maybe we need AI.
We need AI. Well, going the opposite direction of the future of technology, back a few years, our bonus odd take this week is a website I came across called My Abandonware. Have you heard of this one, Dave?
I do not believe I have. This is right up my alley, though.
Yes. Download Abandonware games from 1965
Holy
to
cow.
2013.
Computers didn't exist in 65, at least not the ones that make video games.
More than 33,900 games are available and waiting to be played again. Discover rare 80s games and immerse yourself into classics from the 90s and 2000s. Get your dose of nostalgia and old school gaming right now.
And it's for free. Hey, this is funny. Lemmings. So I was on what's the website about the Mac? It's the old Mac. What is the website? Shoot. Infinite Mac. Infinite Mac. So here, I'll go there real quick. I was on Infinite Mac the other day, and I was playing around, and they have Lemmings on one of these.
Oh, cool.
Well, on many of them, actually. It's in the games folder. We've had this as a pick of the week before where you can run an old Macintosh. So anyway, that's funny that I didn't have to go through and do an emulation via the web. Oh, that was an accident. I could have just come
here and search for it.
Yeah, I could have done this.
Yeah.
Look at this. So what is something we can play? Tony Hawk Underground 2?
A lot of them are just Windows. It does show you underneath which platforms. They have Wakeboarding Unleashed featuring Sean Murray from 2003 is available for